Good afternoon. Happy Savage Saturday. Keepers of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here. And today, guys, this is Savage Saturday Comic Review, episode 118. And we're going to review something I don't think everybody had a chance to get, especially since, to my understanding, it was a one per store item. So you're either lucky enough to get it or you won't. And this was the Red Sonja Ashcan edition, issue 1, on sale July 19th, 2023. Now, I've had this for a little bit, but I wanted to wait a little bit closer to the release date. So we're, less than a month out till this comes out. And we're going to discuss, we're going to read it together. So you guys who couldn't buy it or see it, get to see the full issue. I'll show pictures over here, of course, like I always do, so you get to look inside the comic. And if this Dynamite series is going to be one worth checking out. Now, I've read this a few times. I can already tell you, in my opinion, yes, and we're going to go through why. But it's always tough with Dynamite, right? Their quality is so fluid. It's up, it's down, it's all over the place. Sometimes they put writers on who don't understand the characters. They don't even care who the characters are, and you doubt they've ever read the character before in their life. And other times they'll have someone great on a book that understands the character, much like Mark Russell when he was writing Red Sonja. All right, but we're going to look at this together. And beautiful cover, of course, by Shannon Mayer. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Depicts Sonja, beautiful, of course, and as a warrior. And you guys know my opinion, right? Red Sonja's not a pinup. I always want to see her as a warrior. That's her character. And not just a warrior, she's compassionate, and she's got a lot of qualities. All right, so our writer, and we'll put her picture over here, is Torunn Grønbekk. And if I mispronounce your name, my deepest apologies. I mean no offense. And the artist is Walter Giovanni, and he's done Red Sonja before. Exquisite art, beautiful, elegant, graceful, really, really nice art. Really conveys the story well. And but those are our two main creators of the book, okay? We have the colorist, and we'll name the other ones. Omi Romalante Jr., the letterer is Simon Bolin, and the editor is Joseph Rybant. Of course, based on the heroine created by Robert E. Howard. And in this form here, half that creation credit goes to Roy Thomas, of course, because Red Sonja did not exist in this form before Roy Thomas. All right, so I think it's a shame when we see only Robert E. Howard credited with her in the comics, because her comic book form is a combination of two Robert E. Howard characters and also of Roy Thomas's imagination. So you have Dark Agnes, and you have Red Sonja Rogatine, and so both those characters were combined by Roy Thomas, and then added a little bit of put her in a different time period in the land of Conan, and such you have it. Now this is weird, and I'm going to put this up there for you guys. So I don't know what this means rights-wise, right? It says, "Know also, O Prince, that in those self-same days that Conan the Cimmerian did stalk the Hyborian kingdoms," and I'll put it up there for you to read. I won't go through the whole thing. But I thought it was odd that they would mention Conan the Cimmerian. Was this between him having the rights between Titan and Marvel, his rights going back and forth, or is there some kind of clause in there which he can at least be named but not shown in a book? Who knows? If you guys know, and Thorson, probably you know, let me know in the comments below. All right, so our tale opens up, and of course I'm gonna put the pages up here for you guys, and we'll read it. It's not a long one, but it gives a good peek into the first issue. It says, "When the king died, they stopped begging for 3 days." And this is, of course, in Westfold, the Border Kingdoms, 6 weeks ago. 3 days of mourning, 3 glorious days of silence. But the hunger soon outgrew grief, and the choir of misery descended on the city once more. The voices of the wretched haunt him. And you have the scene of these guys banging on the door, opened up by a command of the high priest. He goes, "He pities and despises them in equal measures. Their desperation mirrors his." It says, "We have located the boy, your grace. They are collecting him now." And you can see this dude, and he's saying, "Very, very well. Bring him to me." It is, but Thord Varg hungers for answers, not bread. All right, and again, you were looking at it over there, but I'll show it once more. And we're going to go to our second page. And inside, you see a big fire blazing. The scene is set. You see a boy in front of him, and it says, "The king died heirless, leaving him the kingdom and the secrets of his bloodline." And he goes, "Was there something else?" And this young boy's like, "Yes, as you predicted, Colburn's forces have taken Nyland. Our army in the east is all but defeated." And this dude, Thorvard, it says, and though Thorvard wanted a crown, he did not want this one. And all of a sudden, this scene cuts to these people invading a woman's home. It says, "Where is the boy?" She goes, What is going on?" And she starts screaming, "No, no." And they go in to take her newborn son. It says, "After all, what value is power if it is over the desolate?" And it says, "The gods have not answered the prayers of this land in generations. Yet he still prays to the silence." And you have someone speaking to him off panel. It says, "Your grace, they are here." And he turns and you can see the scars on his face. And he says, "Bring them in." And he goes, "Hoping this desperate measure is enough to break it." And we'll just show you that side because I haven't read the other one yet. So, of course, I'll have it over there. We'll get to our next page. It says, the woman's in the clutches of one of the guards. And it says, "Why have you brought us here? I do not understand." And this guy, Thorvard, says, "The gods have abandoned our country. We must make a sacrifice to call them back to our lands. Your son was the first child born after the death of the king. It must be him." She's like, "No, please, no." And then the guard muffles her screams and the tears are running down her face. And this guy says, Thorvard says, "According to the histories, Vestfold's perpetual fire was lit by the last dragon of the north. It is said that those who are sacrificed to the fire live on in the flames, that the souls linger as long as the fire burns." And he turns to her, he grabs her son, he turns away from her, and he's talking to her. He says, "Does that not give you solace, that your boy will live on as long as Vestfold stands?" She goes, "Do not, please, I beseech you, take me instead." He goes, "I suppose not. No matter." He's very cold about it. He's about to sacrifice the child. And all of a sudden, it just cuts to the exterior. You get a view of the place, and the flames are going high. And it says, "The fire burns, the mother screams, and Thorvard prays." So he has sacrificed the baby. It says, in the roar of the flames, he finally answers a voice. An answer, a message from the gods. It asks for more. All right, and now we can show you both pages together. Some wonderful storytelling, of course, and the art goes along with the story. Very, very, just very nice. And then it says, "Madoris now." And it shows some guardsmen out and they're patrolling this. And then it cuts to a panel of Red Sonja over on a hill overlooking these three guards passing. It says, "She is on the run." And then she speaks. There they go. And then we go back to a panel of the scripture that says, "Accused of a murder she did not commit." And then back to Sonja speaking. "What do you think, Erder? Risk the open road for a few miles?" And Erder is her horse's name. And she's picking brambles and stuff off him. She's like, "I'm sorry, boy, but the roads were crawling with soldiers, and it would be a shame to rid the country of all its young men because of one silly misunderstanding." And it says, "Red Sonja flees Aquilonia." Okay, we'll show you that. And my apologies, my allergies are in full effect, so my nose is a bit runny. My apologies for that. Our next page, it knows her name now. It watches her journey through borrowed eyes. And you see this raven above them, flying above her and above the guardsmen. It says, and follows as she rides north with determination. It cannot reach her. And then one of the guards says, "Who said that?" And the other guard is like, "What is it, Ferdin?" And it says, "The voice says she is behind us." And the other guard again is like, "What voice?" He goes, "But it can pull and push the others." And then they turn, listening to this voice. It says, "Come on." And they're retreating back the way they came. And we'll give you those. Again, beautiful art, beautiful pages. All right. And then it says, "Oh, Ophir's hairy bullocks," Red Sonja says, as she's drawn her sword on her steed. And the three guards are approaching her. She goes, "I have no quarrel with you. Let me pass." And way behind Sonja, up in the sky, you can see this raven watching over all. And the guy's like, "Red Sonja, in the name of Lord Dragos, we arrest you for the murder of Lady Alberta." And she goes, "Go back to your Lord Master and inform him that I did not kill his lady wife." And the guard's like, yield, woman, keep some dignity. You are outnumbered. She goes, outnumbered, but not outmatched. Fight me or not, it hardly makes a difference. And I got to show you this panel, especially that last panel there. That look on Sonya's face, and I'll give you a close-up of it. A smarmy confidence, and she gave them their chance. They didn't take it. There's going to be Red Sonja's own hell to pay to them. And the next panel shows her feet moving. It says, it likes watching her fight. And of course, it's talking about the Raven and what's watching her through the Raven. We don't yet know. And it says, if they're all like her, they would be worth ruling. So a little bit more ominousity about it. You see her in the air flying towards the first guard. And she cuts him so hard it knocks his helmet off. She goes, but they are not. Meaning those guards and the rest of humanity is not worthy. They don't have the worth of a Red Sonja. They are not worth the role. And she parries another blow. You hear her say "arg" on the panel. Oh, hold on. Let me. Can I give you a shot of this? If not, it won't hurt us to give you one more because it's beautiful to look at. All right. So after she parries that blow, she goes, the longer it observes the world of men, the more it sees how they live. And this is, of course, whatever it is, watching Sonja and the guards through the Raven. Now you see a big guy with a mace, and he goes, we have a word for women like you where I come from, Kwantan. And she goes, let me guess. It means, she goes, let me guess. And the guy says, it means, and it's the C word. And she goes, figures. And then the panel goes to the descriptive again of the thing watching her. It says, and how they argue. And how they die. And then back to Sonja. We have a word for men like you too. And she says, irrelevant, as she thrusts the sword up below his chin and through the top of his skull. And you just see him dead. You see the Raven behind her watching over. It says, the more it wonders what value their mundane existence truly holds. And you see the horse neighing, and Sonja's like, give me a break. Can't expect comedy. I haven't had a drink in days. So we'll go to these panels, and you can see just the brutal death of this dude who was using just derogatory terms against Sonja, trying to distract her, trying to belittle her. And he's now worm food, and so be it. Next page, and again, the first few panels are just descriptive of whatever this entity is watching Sonja through the Raven's eyes. And it says, she is riding to sacred ground. The eyes do not extend into the monastery, and it wonders how much she knows. Sonja knocks on the monastery doors, and she says, open up, I'm here to see His Excellency. When the doors crack open, the guy there says, you are early. She's like, I am? I didn't know I was expected. And he's ushering her along. He's like, quickly, please. We would not want any of our brothers to see you. She goes, I suppose not. She still doesn't know what's going on. And this guy has a complete misunderstanding of who she is and why she's there. And he says, take the stairs to the top, please. I'll inform the bishop of your arrival. She's like, and she goes up, and when she enters the chamber, she's like, oh my. She goes, you dirty, dirty boy, bishop. And he has a room all set up to receive a woman of the night. We'll say it nicely. All right, so he has ordered a prostitute for himself, but Sonja's there, and he bursts through, and he has an open robe while still wearing his bishop's crown. It says, 10 blessings, my sweetest rose. Today we will drink the finest wine and worship the gods with our bot, and he shuts up. And there's Sonja laughing at him. She's like, you may keep your blessings and your worship, your excellency, but I will have the wine. And he knows her and you see his eyes just open with astonishment. He's like, Sonja? And he goes, what the devil is this? He says as he's covering himself up. And it says, Red Sonja issue 1 on sale July 19th. So a great little teaser for what we can expect, the type of storytelling we're going to get. And you have an interview with Turin Grombeck in the back, which I'll put up here for you guys as well. That way, if you guys want to pause the video and read this interview, it will be available to you to do so. Now, getting back to this, is this a title that we should give a chance and pick up? And I'm going to say absolutely. This writer seems to understand Sonja, and I know it's just the ash can and just the first thing, But she's already caught the spirit of Sonya. She's already caught the fierceness of Sonya, the compassion of Sonya, who didn't want to slay people and only did once she was forced to. And so you have someone that understands the Sonya character. There was no putting her in a compromising position just for a teenage fanboy that might be reading the issue, right? They didn't disrespect the character in that way, which I really, really liked. You had threats, you had Sonya fighting, you saw her in battle. You have a conspiracy brewing, you have a mystery going on. There's something watching Sonya that has bigger plans ahead. And all great earmarks of a sword and sorcery tale. You have a lone warrior on a quest being pulled into something. They have no idea what, and it's going to be up to them through their brains, through their fighting skill, through their cunning, and their sheer will to survive and dominate. It's just going to be on them to survive this, right? Now, they may or may not get help here or there from others, but for the main focus of our low fantasy tale, it's got all the ear tales of greatness, right? The lone warrior on a quest that is about saving their hide and moving on. So a great start to this issue. We're going to give the limited story I read there an A. I think a great setup. It certainly piqued my interest. I've read it more than a few times now. The art is easily an A. It's beautiful. It's elegant. It depicts Sonya with a style and a class and a smarmy confidence that she should be depicted having. And it depicts her greatly in battle, which is also very important. And she's not using any harlot tricks, which some lesser writers will use to write Sonya when they don't know how to write her character properly. So overall, this Ashcan gets an A++. It was really good. Really has my interest peaked for this new series, and I can't wait to read it, and hopefully it's going to be great. Hopefully they keep this creative team together that seems to understand exactly what makes Red Sonya tick, what makes her character as great as her character is, and what has kept her around for so long. But that's it for this week, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you've read this Ashcan, or if this video is your first time seeing it. But until next time, thank you for watching, and keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code KEEPITCASUAL for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.